Officially, and a lot of kids gearing up to go door to door and get all that candy. The question is, do you know which homes your child is going to?
Warnings are being pushed out to parents ahead of the big night, encouraging them to see if there are any registered sex offenders living in their neighborhood or close by. 7 News reporter Kirsten Glavin is here at 7 on Main Live tonight with more on what parents should be looking out for. So what should we do, Kirsten?
Yeah, these are convicted sex offenders, so parents really do have a right to be worried. South Carolina does have curfews in place on Halloween night for those that have been released but are still under state supervision. For those that have done their time, they don't have anyone checking in, which is why law enforcement says parents should be aware.
Corinne Cuss and her kids say they'll be out trick-or-treating Wednesday. Because they're young, it's something she makes sure they do together.
They start getting older, 8 or 9, 10, you let them go alone and they don't know the dangers, so you kind of keep them in the right neighborhood or away from certain houses.
Because in today's society, you don't always know who your neighbors are.
I think people should be made more aware that there are, sex offenders around.
The state setting curfews for registered sex offenders on Halloween night. In Greenville County, those out on probation, parole, or any other release program will have to go to an undisclosed holding area from 5:30 at night until 9 o'clock. The county says about 80 sex offenders will be there this year, where they will go through a counseling seminar until curfew is up.
It does make parents feel better about letting their kids go out to the communities and enjoy Halloween.
Chad Gambrell, agent in charge of the Department of Probation, Parole, and Pardon Services, says counties like Anderson and Lawrence will do the same. Others, however, take a different approach. Some sending agents to individual homes during those hours to make sure lights are off and no candy is being handed out. Registered sex offenders that have done their time are left alone. And while many parents like Corinne say they feel comfortable as long as they're with their kids, she believes all parents should check on their child's trick-or-treating route.
If I didn't go with them, then I would be more cognizant of what's around and who's around.
And there are plenty of ways to check. You can plug in your address to the sex offender registry online and see who's living within a 1 to 3 mile radius around you. We have a link to that on our website, WSPA.com.
Well, it sounds like authorities have their hands full keeping track of all these folks on one given night. What about these places where they're supposed to go? Do they have instances where they don't go, and what's the consequence if they don't show up?
Yeah, typically they say people do follow these directions and go to these places, but in the event that they do not show up, they do send agents over to the home to try and drag them out and account for them and bring them to where they're supposed to be. So overall, not too much of an issue, we're told, but they do hold people accountable for this.
It's always a good time for parents to be involved during Halloween. Kirsten, thank you.